Did Candace Owens just say what we think she said? Today, I'm breaking down her jaw-dropping claim that the Jews in Israel were behind Charlie Kirk's assassination. We're diving deep into what she's saying, what it means, and whether there's anything behind it. Let's get straight into it. We're going to take a look at a couple clips, and I'm coming at it as I know this can draw any emotions for anyone, and I know for me it does as well. So I'm going to try to keep my heart rate down and my tempo down and to analyze this. We're going to look at a couple of different clips of her show, what she said. So she's basically saying that Israel, what they're doing and over in Gaza is sacrificing souls to Baal worship. And then we're going to, how this connects with Charlie Kirk and the assassination there. It's pretty wild, but I want to be as unbiased as possible. I don't want to influence or taint anything. Let's just hear it. And then I'm going to try to keep it cool.
Erica knows who Pierre is. I'll tell you that for free. Maybe she could tell us, enlighten us. Are they going to accept the money? If so, why can't you just tell us who it is? You guys just tell us who Pierre is. That's fine. If he has nothing to do with anything, why are we all being weird about that? Who's Pierre? Who's the $1 billion check that was on the line? Was that how BB was going to get money into Turning Point USA? Or are we still playing stupid? Are we still playing like he just wanted to call Charlie because he ain't busy. And he just was like, hey, what's up? I see you at Bill Ackman's house. Yeah, how's the weather? Oh, Hampton's nice this time of year. Yeah, well, over here, we're just murdering more children, sacrificing souls to Baal. Anyways, talk to you later. Love you, BB. I don't think that's how it went down.
All right, take that for what you will. I don't know. Well, I'm going to really try to be as unbiased as possible. And I'm really going to actually take a step back, besides just analyzing Charlie Kirk's assassination, because that's being investigated and what's going to happen with there when everything goes to trial. But in this next clip, I want to get into this, and then we're going to really analyze. Got my wife calling me. No, not right now. All right, we're going to analyze basically. All right, where was that? All right, Charlie Kirk assassination. I want to actually take a step back instead of that, and with Israel, the Jews, and just really analyze bring this to Gentile Israel, because I know this is what the heart of it. This is actually what I care about. Because I know this is all going to get sorted out. We're going to get down to the bottom of it, pretty much, of what happened, and we got to let things play out. And I know this is a lot of just heightened drama in analyzing these things. But in this next clip, this is where she says the exact thing about, it's almost like she was listening to my show last week when I was saying, just say it, Candace. What do you believe? We know what you're hinting at. She says it in her podcast yesterday. Pretty wild.
I think Charlie was fearful of his life. I don't think it was about a Jezebel curse. I think everything that was going on in his day reveals that Charlie was stressed out about pressure that was being put on him regarding Israel. And he was instructing to his team that he was done with them and he was happy to lose money. So it would not track that then, after dealing with this, having a call with the rabbi who should be asleep in Israel, but is staying up to give you advice on a debate, like this couldn't have been a frickin' email, it would follow that he then sent to Andrew Colvett and Dan Flood that they, meaning the Jews, were going to kill him. That's what I believe. That's what I believe happened on that day. And as far as why Erica...
So right there, I don't know if I'm mishearing her. So I don't know if she's basically explicitly saying that what she thinks happened on that day was the Jews killed Charlie. The Jews. And whenever you really just say the Jews or anything like that. So if say a Christian or say anybody of any nationality, if a black person kills somebody, does that mean the black people killed him, a person? It's just, it seems like it only becomes with Jewish people that if one Jewish person, if they have that ethnicity or that religion or anything like that, that they are now representing the totality of Jewish people. But did I hear her correctly that she's saying that that's what she believes happened? Because that's what it sounded like.
Is lying and covering for Dan Flood. We're gonna need to get to the bottom of that. These are not little lies; these are huge lies.
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. All right, so we got a lot to break down. Her saying this, I want to step back because I know I wanted her to explicitly say, because I don't like to beat around the bush. I'm a person I want to know, what do you actually think happened? Let's just not just use innuendo and just use things that just seem like what we're saying, but we're really not saying. And that's what a lot of these things happen. It's just this look of people that they always are accusing Jewish people or whatever it is. And they're just but they won't say it. They're just kind of alluding to it, and they're like, oh gosh, it's just this insincere like posture that they have, but insincere in the sense that like that they have to dial it back. They can't be just overt in saying it. Let's just all like just say what we think. Now, the Jews killing Charlie Kirk, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out if she's right about that. But I want to like take a step back and just like analyzing this whole idea of, because she starts off her show with hello, ever my fellow goyim out there, everybody, the goyim, and just this idea that Gentile and Jewish people, because this is the divide that we have, and this is the distinction that God has made. And I think that a lot of times, in reality, in our world, what God has done, He loves distinctions. He made distinctions. He made distinction between male and female, between Jewish people, between Gentiles, between all ethnicities. He likes, he didn't make us all look the same. He loves distinction between all the animals in the animal kingdom, but between everything in this world. There's not really anything that is exactly the same. But what it seems like what Satan likes to do is he wants to do everything in his power to destroy what God loves. He wants to make everything homogenized. He wants to remove all barriers, make male and female become, I don't know, just become one thing, or a million different things that aren't what God actually orderly created. He wants to cause confusion. So he makes it be nothing. And I think this is where it comes to the heart of it, because I see with Christianity and specifically, and I'm seeing it more and more from Roman Catholicism. I'm seeing it from there. It's coming from that kind of side of the church building, that of that representation, that the people are coming out, because it seems like they're the ones that are saying more and more the Jews are behind everything, that the Jews are evil, the Jews are doing all this, which they have rejected Jesus as the Messiah. They haven't embraced him yet. But like to say that they're fully evil and colluding together and just organized and trying to overthrow all the goyim around this world, there might be elements of that. But to just say that now it's all that's going on is this false religion out there that is doing Baal worship. Because I think a lot of times it does feel like we have this moral like superiority that we always want to convey, that we're the right ones, we're the ones doing everything correct. So that means that everyone else that's not doing everything correct, they're doing it with evil motives. Rather than most people are doing the best they can, they're doing it with the best intentions they can. And those they can be completely misguided. But I just think that this distinction that that is causing a lot of these, I would say it as Roman Catholic. I see it pretty much a lot coming from there, but it's from all the church. And it started from the beginning of the church, when the church came into being and started growing and flourishing. The first thing they did, which I think had a lot of God, not God necessarily, but Satan was involved in a lot of trying to destroy the foundational element that God had, that was the Jewish religion, the Jewish idea of the Messiah, the Jewish just interpretation of Scripture, because that was what was going on. And I think a lot of Gentiles hijacked that message and ran with it. And I see Nick Fuentes. He's going off in these kind of directions and just completely discarding the Jewish like root and foundation. I know this becomes just like noise, and it seems like, oh, you're just a simpleton buying into this message. But I'm trying to actually get back to the heart of it, because whenever we like think about like the apostles or the early church, because a lot of these things, pulling down these barriers and these walls and making us all one, we're just all one. There's no more. That became a Gentile element and a creation from Gentiles, the goyim. Because it's like, this is new to us. We found the truth in the Messiah, Jesus Christ. We have that. And so we want to remove any specific claim that the Jewish people have. And I really want to get down to this chosen people, chosen nation kind of thing. Because the Jewish people, they are chosen in a sense as the natural sons of God. That's what they are. God chose them. But we know not all Israel is Israel. Not because you're born Jewish, are you Jewish? Or are you God's people? I should say, are you of God's family? That is, just because you're born into that family doesn't make you that. So but there was a specific element that God chose that nation, and that people was going to be the people that the Messiah was going to come through, and they have a unique distinction as opposed to everyone, and they have it. It's indelible. It's not going to be removed, and Satan wants to destroy that. That's why he always wants to destroy the Jewish people. Throughout time, he's always wanted to continue to try to destroy them. But then, the chosen nature of of people, I guess the deeper mystical mystery chosen nature, anyone that trusts in Jesus, Jew or Gentile, you are the true finality, the predestined chosen of God, because that whoever puts their trust into Jesus and has forgiveness of sins and trust in Jesus, you are chosen. God predestined your life that you would come to know him. But it doesn't change the fact that the Jewish people still have that specific responsibility and place in God's time frame and God's plan in history. And I think that I see just Roman Catholics primarily, but it's not just them. It's anyone that just thinks that this new thing that Jesus came and he instituted something completely new. Everything started completely new when Jesus came. Rather, it was a continuation. It was a continuation of, Jesus didn't come and just say, everything that's done in the past that was leading up to me is done away with. Everything is new from now on. It was the finality. It was the consummation of what had been planned for centuries and millennia up until he was born. And the Jewish people that embraced him were the apostles. His primary audience was Jewish people, and that was the hub of everything. But then Gentiles were slowly brought in. That's why the apostles were so hesitant to bring Gentiles, to share this message to Gentiles. Peter had to have specific visions to go to preach the message to Gentiles. God had to get it through his head that no, it's just because you're Jewish doesn't mean that is not what makes you clean. But I've allowed the Gentiles to come a part of this movement, to put their faith in Christ, to have their sins forgiven. And I think I just see it as almost a jealousy from a lot of Gentile Christians, primarily from Roman Catholics. That's what I'm seeing it, because they think that they're their true church. So that means they are the true adopted child of God. They're the true children of God. So anything that's saying that this chosen nature of the Jewish people, we can't have that. We don't want to listen to that. And they want to just throw everything that has to do with them out. And they want to get them out of here. They want to get them out of here because we're the new real reality. You have to come into us. Rather, it's Gentiles. We are brought along. We're allowed to join into this. We are grafted in. It doesn't just abolish the root. The root of the tree is still there. And I see it as a jealous movement because, and I don't want to ascribe motives to Candace and her viewpoint. I don't know her heart. We got to understand that anybody that's getting on the internet that is talking, you're saying something just flamboyant and crazy and fiery just because you want to, you don't want to be boring. You want to say the most crazy thing possible. You want to completely bear down, and I'm I know I want to grab attention, but I want to still try to stay faithful to what I actually believe. And when her saying this, I mean, it's easy to just say the Jews did it, the Jews were behind it, the Jews were a part of it, and whether that's true or not, whether it turns out and Netanyahu and the people were doing it, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense at all that Israel would want to kill their best, most prominent supporter. And we can try to really do this Monday morning quarterbacking in hindsight 2020 and try to just pull all these things together and try to conglomerate and then throw them all together and make this new puzzle that Israel actually was behind it. But really the things that she's saying is just really just, it seems like not much merited accusation. It just really just blanket accusation that's really not needed. And I think it's making something that's not even there. Whether it turns out to be that Israel is behind it, I doubt it. They're probably behind a lot of things. For this, I doubt that they are. But I think to get back to the heart of it, understanding our role, Gentile and Jews, we are all equal before God, but God has a special relationship with Jewish people just naturally because he has a covenant with them. But just because they're Jewish doesn't mean they're going to be saved eternally and go to heaven if they don't embrace the Messiah. But if they are a true Jew in their heart and they love God, they will embrace Jesus. They will see who he is and understand. The scales will fall from their eyes and they will understand it. But Jew and Gentile alike, it's the people that do trust him. They are the true chosen people from the foundation of the world. Throughout human history, God predestined people to be saved. That they would, and that's the book of Romans. That's what Paul's golden chain of a sequential order of salvation. What happens? God foreknew, he predestined, he justified, he glorifies. It falls in line exactly how God planned. Nothing catches him off guard. I just want us to get back to this when we're just accusing Jews and just saying, oh, they're all in it. I think what we're doing, we're hurting and disrupting God's overall plan for us, because our main role as Gentiles is to make Jews jealous, not to be arrogant against them, but to make them jealous, to make them want to embrace Jesus. Because Jesus isn't going to come back until Israel says, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. All right, that's kind of like where I'm at, and I know a lot of times I get heated and getting into this, and it's whenever you're just high emotions and the blood's flowing in your head, you can't think straight, and you're losing oxygen. Sometimes you say some crazy things, and we all go down that route. But I want to try to be more even-keeled and more nuanced in what I believe and articulating it. With Candace, I think she's missing the mark. I think she's running with this. She's found her honeypot, her gravy train, and she's rolling with it. But everybody does that on certain elements in certain ways. But I think she's just missing the mark on this. She's throwing on the Jews and Israel, where they're just like the high up Jews in Israel. They're like, let her go, let her say all this stuff, because it just brings discredit and loses credibility to something maybe that they are actually behind. All right, we'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this channel. Let me know, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think about this. Drop a comment, and thank you for the people that have dropped comments. And I appreciate, just let me know what you believe on the issue. If you think I'm way off, or if you think I'm right on, or kind of in between, I don't know. And we can grow together in our understanding. So we'll leave it at that. Follow me on X and Instagram @BrandonFogel, and have a great rest of your day.